love elevating my dog's food by adding healthy toppers that can help them as they are growing and living their best lives. If you've been following our food journey, you know I give my dogs half unkibble, the turkey version, because my dog has an allergy to beef, and I am also giving them a Jinx kibble. This way I have some flexibility. I can add things in, I can take things out. We do a bit of variety feeding so that my dogs have a lot of different elements and I can give them what I need to give them when I need to give it to them, depending on lifestyle, budget, if we're traveling, if we're doing other things, so that they have the ability to take in a lot of different types of food without it upsetting their tummies. And so I will link some of those episodes down below, as well as the food that we are using, but I like to elevate it to make it even healthier, because we know that things like unkibble are a drastic step up from a normal kibble, because it's fresh food, because it is not going to be that highly processed food that we get in some other brands. And so I am still looking to give them a little bit more of an edge, and dogs can have things that are right in our kitchen that I'm able to then elevate their food with. Now, there are tons of options for elevating it with toppers. Make sure you are talking to your dog nutritionist. You can talk to your vet too, but they don't have as much education on nutrition as a dog nutritionist does. But you can also pay attention to some of those fruits and vegetables and things from your kitchen that you're able to then give your dog to be a little bit healthier. So for me, I am using things that I already have right inside of my refrigerator or my cabinets, and I focus on things like apples and strawberries and watermelon. All of those things are very good and very helpful for your dog. They also are kind of like a nice little treat, especially in the summertime. I'm also focusing on fruits and vegetables. So we do celery, we do cucumbers, we'll do lettuce sometimes, and we will do different things that are going to work well for our dogs. Don't give your dog food without making sure that it is dog safe. Not all human foods are dog safe, so you have to be very careful with what you are going to be giving your dog. I also like to give my dogs eggs. That can be really healthy for them. I've even heard that if you crush up eggshells after you've hard-boiled them, that is a good source of calcium. So you can add in things that are going to be a little bit supplemental. I am also giving my dogs different supplements. I'm giving them different things that are going to help them as they are growing and living their best life. But I very much like the idea of being able to share my food with my dog. So when I'm eating, when I'm planning my meals, I'm thinking, okay, well, can I also give bits of this to my dog? What was going to help them? So oftentimes in the morning, I will cut myself up an apple and I'll split it with my dog. So I'll give them pieces of that apple with their breakfast, and then I will eat the rest of the apple. I sometimes have different vegetables that I am going to eat. If I'm going to eat celery, if I'm going to have a cucumber, if I'm making myself a salad, I will give them pieces of that inside of their food as well. And it helps to make it more colorful, more fun, more bright. It's new textures, it's new tastes, it's something that's going to be a little bit unique, which can very much help picky dogs who do not like to eat their food. If you mix things up with their food, they're forced to eat part of it to get at the thing that might be very interesting. So I'm looking at smaller things like blueberries. I'm looking at larger things like strawberries that I can cut up. And you do want to make sure you're cutting most of this stuff up to make it a little more accessible for your dog, because dogs aren't meant to grind their food. They're meant to tear their food and swallow it. And so that means if it's a bigger piece, it's going to have a lot more work to do inside of the body. So chopping it up is the equivalent of us chewing up our food and making it easier so that the body can get those nutrients out a little bit better, a little bit easier, and not waste the energy on things it doesn't need to be wasting energy on. So cutting them up also helps them to fit inside of your slow feeder. So you can do pieces of your unkibble, and then you can sprinkle your kibble around it if you need to, and then add in those toppers by putting in the carrots and the celery and the blueberries and the strawberries and the watermelon and the things that you're going to be sharing with your pup. And you can space those out however you want inside of those slow feeders to make it easy for your dog to grab and to have access to without it being too mixed in or muddled up with their food. So you're going to go in your kitchen, you're going to see what dog-friendly foods do you have and what can you split with your pup? What can you offer them to help level up what they're doing with their food? And we know that having healthier foods, even in small increments, can do a lot of good for your dog's body and help to prolong that lifespan for your pup. So I highly recommend talking to a dog nutritionist. You can talk to your vet too, but again, they don't have the same education because they're educated by the kibble companies rather than other factors that the dog nutritionist would have access to. So you have the ability to do your own research, to talk to a dog nutritionist, and to make sure that you are having a good conversation also with your vet on what's going to work well for your dog. Keeping in mind, some dogs have allergies. Some things will help a little bit better than others. You can even on occasion give your dog a little bit of honey to help with like local allergens. There's tons of things that you can be doing. And so doing your research on that for your specific dog, for your specific breed, for your specific allergy needs is going to be really helpful. And even in small amounts, giving them healthier foods in addition to the kibble that you're giving them can make a really big difference in your dog's health and well-being. So I highly recommend trying it. And by adding in different things as toppers, you're exposing them to more, which means they're going to have more of the ability to then consume things if you have to change dog foods, if you are going into rotation feeding or variety feeding, like we've talked about in other videos, which I highly recommend that you check out. It's definitely something that serves dogs way, 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 way better than just one straight food. And then just sticking to that and exposing them to the same things again and again and again. There's reasons, we'll talk about it in that video, but it's going to help you to level up for your pup to give them a healthier lifestyle, even if it's in small increments, even if it's in small amounts as toppers, even if you can't afford fancier foods or more expensive foods or allergy-specific foods or whatever it happens to be. This is a great way to give your dog a little bit more, even if you can't afford a ton of extra things. Drop your questions down below and follow along for more. I am going to be doing some food recipes for dogs. I'm going to be talking about different slow feeder things. We're going to be talking about different toppers, different recipes that you can make for your dog. So if you are interested in helping to level up what your dog is doing right now in terms of the food that they are consuming, this is a great place to start. And we are going to be talking about what I'm doing with my dogs, how I'm leveling it up on just a very basic, very accessible level, because I am not a dog nutritionist. I am not a vet. And so these are just very easy, simple things that you and I can do to help level up on the day-to-day or on the week-to-week, depending on the seasons, depending on what we're doing, depending on what seems very interesting and fun and cool and unique and is going to get your dog's attention more so than just giving them their food and walking away. So we're going to level things up here. We're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to have some great conversations. And this is part of our daily videos that we are using here to help you, to guide you as a dog parent to make this your easiest life possible and give your dog the best life possible. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.